Welcome to another guide video, and today we will be replacing the infotainment system on my 2005 Volvo S40. This guide will also apply to the V50, C30 and C70 as they all have a very similar system. So on P1 Volvos, unfortunately we are very limited in what we can do with the infotainment system. You can't go and replace it with a standard double DIN unit like you would your normal car. This is because if we do, we lose all functionality of the air conditioning, the radio and other things. So I've come to the solution of purchasing a small 7-inch template. Here we are. It is the tablet in question. It is a Vankyo S7 cheap tablet. Don't need to go out and spend a lot of money on a tablet. This was around £65 I think it was. So with this tablet I've got a custom interface on it, which is just a downloadable app. You can customize it depending on what you want to do with the car. On this I've got it set so I have a GPS, music and phone calls, along with a few other little bits. And for this installation I'm going to talk you through how I install it, and I'm going to make a custom shroud so that it will fit in place on the dash so it looks OEM, looks just that little bit cleaner. And then I'll talk you through all the wiring and all the connectivity that I'll do for the car. So come along and enjoy the process.
Here we have the Volvo S40 waterfall dash. You can see it's quite modern, but unfortunately it is a bit outdated. So what we're going to do is we'll line up the tablet up against the fascia board, and as you can see it's quite a good fit, but it's not perfect. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create a fascia board and template so that this will look clearer and more OEM on the actual dash. What I'll do now is I will make the template, and then we'll go through to the Cad software and produce a CAD file ready to print and test fit. Right, so here we have the basic template. It's as you can see, it's very basic at the moment. I only need to do this one side because it will be replicated at the exact same time. But yeah, what I'll do is when I go into Cad Software, I'll make sure all these edges are beveled and everything, just so it looks that much cleaner. So yeah, let's move on to the laptop and start making a CAD file. So here we are in the Cad software. The Cad software I'm using is Freecad. It's the version 0.18. And I'm using this software purely because it's free and it's pretty simple to use. I will be honest though, it can crash sometimes, so if you're quite far into a complex model, it can become slightly annoying when it decides to crash. But I'll then start by producing this model. Very simple model, it's just one main face with 4 edges, but this is the process I go through to do it. Thought you might want to see it. But yeah, enjoy, and I'll pop back in at different points if anything's important to show you. So with the main body of the shroud made, you can see I'm now going to start to create a cutout on the bottom edge. This is so that it will fit around the waterfall dash more cleanly, so it creates a cleaner look. You'll never see it, but for my peace of mind, it will look much better when the whole unit fits flush against the waterfall dash. Here we have the completed shroud. for the new infotainment system. As you can see, it's a very simple shroud. It doesn't need to be much. We've got all beveled edges, all cutouts and everything for the display. So what I'll now do is I'll save this as a STR file and then move it into Ultimaker Cura to then create a 3D printable file, so that I can now produce the shroud on the 3D printer. So here we have the completed shroud. It has just come off the printer, and as you can see, looks pretty clean, but unfortunately there are just some rough parts on the actual shroud. So what I'll do now is I'll go take different types of sandpaper and I'll get it to a smooth finish, and then get some primer on it, and then get it all smoothed out, ready to go back in the car. So the shroud is all sanded up now, and it's now time to give it its first coat of primer. So I'm just using your standard automotive grey primer. Hopefully it comes out nice. That's 3 coats of primer completed. It's looking quite nice. Finish is pretty good, and it's smoothed out a few of the little bumps and divots. So what I'm going to do now, just to get that perfect finish, I'm now going to wet sand it with some 2000 grit sandpaper. So now we've got the paint, which is, I'm going to use a black sapphire 452 coloured paint. So with the black now complete, it's time to move on to the clear lacquer. This is an automotive lacquer, so for an interior this is perfect as it's very durable. I'll probably do about 4 to 5 layers of clear lacquer just to get that beautiful sparkly metallic finish. So here we have the final product of all the painting. You can see it's beautiful pearlescent metallic sapphire black. Probably a bit overkill for the interior, but I think it just looks absolutely brilliant. With the shroud fully now painted, it's time to look to putting a small button in for the power button, just for the tablet. As we can see here, I've 3D printed a very small little button. This is just so it's out the way and not too obvious. But yeah, this is a little job to do. So what I'm looking to do now is just line up where the button needs to be placed in the shroud. I'll just get my little fake Dremel tool. Just only needs to be a small little hole, just to allow the button to go through. But yeah, it's more than sufficient for what I need. I wanted something that's not too obvious and in your face, so it's discreet and out of the way. So with the small button all in, it's time to now attach the display to the front fascia of the shroud. I'm only using sticky tabs at the moment as it's just a permanent solution to attachment. As this is part 1 of the video, so in a future video I'll be looking at permanently implanting the tablet into the shroud. Now we're back in the car. I've taken off the shroud from the standard waterfall dash and put some little sticky tabs on it. As I said before, this is just a mock-up and test fit of it all. So just a case now of pressing the shroud up against the dash to make sure it all fits. And I did have a little bit of an issue of it all sticking, but in a future version I'll put spacers and just make it look absolutely beautiful. But yeah, for the moment it just looks fab. The tablet installed on the dash, and as we can see, fitment is pretty good. I won't lie, it's not amazing, I'll be honest. The next version I will look to adjust slightly the adjustments on the width so that we get perfect fit. But as we can see at the moment, we've got phone calls along with music. Excuse the poor music choice, that was just what booted in automatically. Navigation as well, along with just get the right setting. We've got all the accelerometers, speed, etc. So yeah, it looks quite good. The next thing we'll be doing in the next video, we'll be looking at the power connectivity. So currently I plan to have it connected to Ignition Live so that when the key is inserted into a dash, it will boot up automatically. As we saw earlier in the video, we had a button that we were going to have at the top of the tablet. The clearances were just a bit tight, so I need to redesign that button. Apart from that, yeah, it's pretty good. Works quite well. The finish on the plastic seems to be quite nice. But yeah, we'll look to improve it for the next version. I'll do all the adjustments of this fascia board in off video so that when we come to the next video it will be ready to install and get all working. So thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video.